Being a parent has many rewarding moments, but toilet training isn't one of them. It's not cute, it can be messy, and there's bound to be tears along the way. But it doesn't have to be that hard. Laura Morley is a parenting coach who specialises in the area, and she joins me now. Good morning.
Good morning, it's lovely to be here.
It's lovely to have you, Laura. Tell us, when is the right age for a child to be potty trained?
Well, it's really changed over the last generation. It used to be when I was a child, and probably when you were kids as well, that most of us were toilet trained by the time we were about 18 months of age. And now people tend to be in New Zealand waiting until their kids are about 2.5 to 3.5 to start getting their kids out of daytime nappies.
I remember with my young ones, my parents always would yell at us saying, if he's walking, he can go to the toilet on his own, start training them. So that's the old school way of thinking?
Yeah, well, nowadays we tend to look more at the signs of readiness. With our children, and what we find is because of disposable nappies being really awesome in terms of the technology of locking moisture away from their bodies, they're just not feeling that sense of wee when they do a wee. So you have that problem of the fact that they're not really initiating it because they're not feeling it. So when we were kids, we were in cloth nappies a lot more, and therefore we tended to toilet train a lot earlier. Now there's not a magic age. Normally it's just a developmental stage, and you need to kind of look for signs of readiness to know that your child's ready to go for it.
And what are those signs of readiness?
There's lots of them. I always like to think of the top three as being, first of all, that they have bladder control for 1.5 to 2 hours, because you don't want to have to take them to the toilet every 15 to 20 minutes because they're weeing so often. The other thing that you want to look for is that if your child starts showing an interest in you using the toilet, then often they'll want to come and pass you the toilet paper or flush the toilet and just generally watch you. That's a sign that they're showing an interest in the toilet and others using it. Another really big one is actually kids starting to read their body signals. Some parents will try and wait until their kids preempt wheeze and say, oh, I need to go and do some wheeze now. But that doesn't tend to happen until a bit further down the track in terms of toilet training, but they do quite often preempt poos. So they'll be playing in the play area, and then suddenly you'll notice that they go off to a little quiet spot and go and do their poos, which means that they're kind of starting to read their body signals. And that's definitely a sign that they're ready to start abandoning daytime nappies.
For parents watching now, can you start too early, and what are the dangers of that?
There is some research around that says that if you start too early, that children will tend to hold on to poos. So they are more likely to be bedwetters or to have constipation issues or withholding of poo. So there is some research around that. And saying that lots of people are toilet training before their kids are 2 and are very successful with it. So it's not one of those things where it's a kind of one size fits all. It's very much individualised to every child, and it's a matter of kind of reading those signs and going, yes, let's go for it. And also looking at your family context and saying, look, we're going on a holiday, it's just not going to work right now, so let's put a pause on this and we'll wait until we get back and things are back to normal. Great
advice. Potty or trainer seat?
A good question. Lots of children who are, say, 3 have no interest in using the potty whatsoever. It is really great for putting kids into a squatting position. So what you want them to do is have knees above bottom, just so that it makes the whole process a whole lot easier. So if you are going to toilet train straight to the toilet, which is totally fine, just make sure that you have a step stool that's high enough so their feet can be flat and grounded and they can get into that squatting position.
Laura Morley, this is amazing. We could be here all morning.
I can talk wheeze and poos all day.
We can do that. Lovely to have you, Laura Morley. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.